Randy Orton, the Viper, with the three most dangerous letters in sports entertainment history, RKO. He used to be a crash shout, literally hearing voices in his head. He had everything given to him and he almost threw it all away until he came back to his senses. Let's dive in. Randy's WWE debut was in 2002, and he was quickly standing out with his natural athleticism and being a third-generation wrestler. His early run as the Legend Killer was cocky, it was brash, disrespectful to veterans. And he had major highlights during this run, including the Intercontinental title, joining Evolution, and becoming the youngest world heavyweight champion in history at 24. And success came fast to him, but perhaps it was too fast. Behind the scenes, there was attitude problems, clashes with management, fines, and suspensions for unprofessional conduct. And there were reports of him back in the day being reckless in and outside of the ring, alienating co-workers, burning bridges. Like the prodigal son, Randy took his inheritance, his talent, his opportunities, and squandered them chasing selfish desires. And who could tell him no? After all, he was a third-generation wrestler and one of the faces of the company. But this arrogance led to a harsh fall. By the mid to late 2000s, Randy's reputation was nearly in ruins, publicly being called out for immaturity, facing multiple wellness policy violations. He admitted in various interviews that he was close to being fired more than once. Injuries piled up, but so did personal mistakes, hurting relationships with his friends, colleagues, and even fans. The wake-up call for him? Becoming a father. In past interviews, he's spoken about how his daughter changed his perspective, making him realize he couldn't keep living for himself. Like the prodigal son, coming to his senses, Orton started making steps toward mending what was broken. Over the 2010s, fans saw a different Randy, still intense in the ring, but calmer, in fact, more professional behind the scenes. Known for mentoring younger wrestlers instead of tearing them down. He had improved relationships with WWE management and peers, and he had personal growth, focused on being a family man, avoiding the recklessness of his younger years. This return wasn't just for WWE storylines. It was a return to the man he was always meant to be. Now we can see him in interviews formally denouncing and regretting the person that he used to be back in the day. How he was so naive and focused on himself instead of being more focused on his maturity. Let's read Luke chapter 15, verse 20. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him. You see, the prodigal son took his father's inheritance, wasted all of it, and thought that his father wouldn't welcome him anymore because that bridge was burned. And that might be some of us watching, thinking that what we did was far too great to recover from. But instead, the father embraces the son. Even though he ventured off the path for so long, he isn't just happy that his son came back. He's overjoyed. Randy's story parallels that of the prodigal son, gifted with much, wandering far from the right path and hitting rock bottom, but finally returning, welcomed and not condemned. God's grace isn't just for the churchgoer. It's for that wanderer. It's for that rebel, the one who's burned every bridge. And no matter how far you've run, you can always come home. You may not be the youngest world champion, and you may not have millions of fans watching your every move, but you've wasted time, hurt people, and strayed far from where you're meant to be. The good news, God is still watching that road, waiting for you to come home. If this resonated with you, drop a comment saying, I'm coming home. Sometimes wrestling reflects the truth, and sometimes it reflects faith. This is Stereo Studios.